Have you ever just, marveled at how quickly your online orders show up?
Yeah.
Sometimes just hours after you click buy. Yeah, it feels almost like magic, right? But behind all that speed, there's this sophisticated, pretty much unseen backbone, sortation conveyor systems. And these aren't just simple builds moving boxes around. No, they're these intelligent networks sorting millions of packages automatically by destination. Think massive warehouses, distribution centers. They ensure everything flows efficiently for that super fast delivery. Today, we're doing a deep dive into this really crucial industry. We're pulling insights from a big report by Cognitive Market Research. It covers global trends, forecasts, looking at 2021 all the way out to 2033. Our mission really is to pull out the key nuggets of knowledge from all this data, help you understand the huge forces shaping our modern supply chains.
And huge is definitely the right word. When you look at the global numbers, I mean, it really underscores the scale. Back in 2021, this market, it generated over $7.1 billion in revenue worldwide. Fast forward just a few years to 2025, and it's forecast to hit nearly $9.7 billion. But here's where it gets, well, really impactful.
Okay.
By 2033, we're looking at a staggering $17.8 billion.
Wow. That's quite a jump.
It is. And it's not just simple growth. That's a robust compound annual growth rate, CAGR, of almost 8%, specifically 7.95%. And this momentum, it's directly fueled by, well, you guessed it, the explosion of e-commerce, plus the increasing demand for automation everywhere and just the constant modernization of industrial logistics all over the globe.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit more then. That global picture is really compelling, yeah. But what stands out when we actually look at the world map? How do these big global trends play out differently, continent by continent?
Yeah.
Where are the real hotspots for innovation and expansion?
Good question. So we zoom in on North America first. The market there shows really strong fundamentals. It grew from nearly $2.3 billion, 2.288 to be precise, in 2021. It's heading towards over $3 billion by 2025, and then set to reach almost $5.5 billion by 2033. That's expanding at a solid 7.5% annually, so 7.52% CAGR.
Right. And drilling down into that, I assume the U.S. takes the lion's share.
Yeah.
Yeah, biggest economy. Makes sense. Okay, so the U.S. revenue over $1.8 billion in 2021, moving towards $2.4 billion by 2025, and then projected over $4.1 billion by 2033.
Exactly, growing very consistently in just over 7% a year, 7.132% to be exact. But what's, I think, particularly interesting in North America is Canada. Its acceleration is pretty impressive. The U.S. is large, it's steady, but Canada, it's really on a high growth path.
Oh, really?
Yeah, its market is set to more than double, from about $374 million back in 2021, projected to clear $1 billion by 2033. That shows an impressive 9.3%, 9.341% average annual growth.
That's quite a rate.
It really is. It likely reflects, significant new investments in the logistics infrastructure, serving that growing e-commerce demand. Mexico also contributes quite meaningfully. Its market size goes from around $81 million up to over $180 million by 2033. That's a steady 6.5% growth. 6.492% specifically.
Interesting comparison there between Canada and Mexico. All right, let's move across the Atlantic. Europe, another substantial market, I imagine.
Absolutely. Europe as a whole is a major player, no doubt. Its market value was almost $2.1 billion in 2021, projected to approach $2.8 billion by 2025, and eventually expanding to just over $5 billion by 2033. That's at an impressive 7.6% CAGR, 7.576%.
Okay. And when we dig into some of the key economies there, Germany, UK, France, we see pretty broad growth, right? The UK projected over $760 million by 2033, growing over 8%.
That's right, 8.063% CAGR for the UK.
And Germany, the powerhouse, set to exceed $900 million.
Correct, $901 million by 2033, growing at nearly 7.8%, 7.83%.
France also strong, aiming for over $700 million. Italy scaling up too, over $620 million. Looks like about 8.1% growth.
Yes, France at 7.141% CAGR, and Italy hitting that 8.096% CAGR you mentioned. So strong growth across the board there. But here's where we see some, let's say, distinct regional dynamism within Europe. Russia is actually leading the pack in terms of growth rate, a high CGR of over 9.2%, 9.25%.
Over 9%. Wow.
Yeah. Its market is forecast to nearly triple from 2021 levels, reaching over $560 million by 2033. This surge, well, it could indicate a rapid modernization push in their logistics sector.
Interesting. Anyone else standing out in Europe?
Spain also shows really robust performance, growing at an impressive 8.5%, 8.524% annually. That takes it to over $400 million by 2033. And even, other European countries, maybe smaller markets like Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, they show solid growth too, mostly in the 6-7% range. Luxembourg a bit higher at nearly 7.5%. It just underscores how widespread the adoption of these systems is becoming across the continent. Though the rest of Europe category is much slower, but 1.7%.
Got it. Okay, now, here's where I think it's really interesting. Asia Pacific. This region, I mean, it's just a hotbed of economic activity, rapid e-commerce adoption. What are we seeing for sortation systems there?
You're absolutely right. Asia Pacific, or APAC, is driving some of the fastest growth globally, no question. The region's revenue, it surged from almost $1.9 billion in 2021 to over $2.6 billion by 2025, and the projection. Over $5 billion by 2033. That's an outstanding 8.5%, 8.513% average annual growth.
Okay, that's a strong regional number. And within APAC, the big players, China, Japan.
Definitely. China moved from over $500 million, well, $525 million, projected to hit $1.34 billion by 2033. That maintains an 8.15% growth rate.
Huge numbers. And Japan.
Japan also expanding significantly, expected to exceed $1 billion by 2033, just under 8% growth, 7.911%. These numbers, they just highlight the sheer scale of logistics operations needed in these massive established e-commerce giants.
Makes sense.
But the real breakout story in Asia Pacific, I'd say, is India. It's registering the fastest growth across the entire report we looked at.
India. Faster than China.
In terms of percentage growth rate, yes. India's market is poised to nearly quadruple, jumping from about $290 million, 289.8, Portro over $950 million by 2033. That is a stellar 10.4%, 10.429% CAGR.
10.4%. Okay, that is impressive.
It really is. And it's not just a number, right? It points to a market really on the cusp of a major transformation, likely driven by this massive consumer base, underserved maybe, rapidly adopting online shopping. That creates an urgent need for sophisticated sorting.
Right, leapfrogging perhaps some older infrastructure.
Exactly. And you also see other fast-growing markets there, too. South Korea over 9%, Australia just over 9%, Singapore around 7.2%. They all show strong trajectories, each projected well over $200 million by 2033. It's just a very dynamic region overall. Even the rest of APAC's category, while slower at 6.378%, is still growing significantly.
Fascinating stuff in APAC, especially India. Okay, let's turn our attention now to South America. How's that market shaping up? What are the key drivers down there?
South America is another region showing really robust expansion. Total revenue for sortation conveyor systems there increased from around $456 million in 2021 to over $635 million by 2025, and is projected to nearly triple, hitting over $1.2 billion by 2033. That comes with an impressive TGR of 8.6%, 8.629%.
Okay, 8.6%. And Brazil leading the charge there, I presume?
Yes, Brazil's clearly leading. Its market is set to more than double, from roughly $194 million to over $518 million by 2033. That's an 8.5% CAGR, 8.522%.
Okay, and Argentina. Looks like strong progress there, too.
Yeah.
Nearly tripling its market.
That's right. Argentina hitting over $260 million with an even higher growth rate, actually, 8.8%, 8.843%.
Interesting.
Yeah, and Colombia's growth rate is quite high then.
It is. And Peru and Chile are also showing strong, consistent growth, both above 8%. Peru at 8.39%, Chile 8.25%. It really indicates this broad regional investment in modernizing their supply chains. Good overview.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the Middle East. We're seeing a significant climb in that market, too, the report says. What's driving growth in that rapidly developing economic hub?
Indeed. The Middle East market for these systems, it climbed from just over $200 million in 2021 to nearly $290 million in 2025. And it's set to effectively triple, hitting over $570 million by 2033. That's driven by an impressive 8.8%, 8.839% CAGR.
Nearly 9% for the region.
Yeah, and this rapid expansion, you can probably attribute it to the region's really ambitious infrastructure projects and, again, growing e-commerce penetration.
Makes sense. And Saudi Arabia is a key player there, advancing from about $74 million to over $200 million by 2033.
Correct, maintaining an 8.7%, 8.712% CAGR. This really reflects the kingdom's big vision for a diversified logistics-focused economy.
Right, Vision 2030 and all that.
Yeah. Exactly. And if you connect that to the broader regional strategy, the UAE's rapid expansion is particularly noteworthy. Its market is surging from around $37 million up to over $110 million by 2033. That's a strong 9.42% CAGR, driven by its role as a global trade and logistics hub, right?
Yeah, Dubai especially.
But get this, Egypt actually displays the strongest growth rate among Middle East countries, poised to nearly triple its market from about $22 million to over $65 million by 2033. That's an outstanding 9.6%, 9.628% COGR.
Egypt, wow. Okay, almost 10%.
Yeah. It really indicates a rapidly evolving logistics landscape there. You've got a large population increasingly embracing online commerce. Turkey and Qatar also performed well, showing this widespread regional adoption trend.
Very interesting dynamics in the Middle East. Okay, and finally, let's wrap up our regional tour with Africa. What's the outlook for sortation conveyor systems on that vast continent?
Well, the African market for these systems, it rose from about $200 million, 199.6 in 2021 to over $280 million by 2025. And it's forecast to approach $535 million by 2033. That's at a robust 8.4%, 8.411% CAGR. So solid growth, highlighting the emerging potential of Africa's logistics sector.
Okay, and within the continent, any standouts? South Africa, maybe? Looks like South Africa is posting a strong CAGR, nearly 9.5%, growing from about $70 million to over $213 million.
That's right, 9.477% for South Africa. Very strong.
And Nigeria also climbed significantly, projected over $220 million, looks like almost 8% growth.
Yes, 7.902% CAGR for Nigeria. So these figures, they suggest that as more African nations urbanize, as access to tech grows, so does the need for more sophisticated logistics infrastructure. It's a developing story. So wrapping it all up, what's truly fascinating here is this consistent, significant global momentum. Across the board, really, in the sortation conveyor systems market, it's just such a clear indication of how vital these systems are becoming. Not just, pieces of equipment, but really the foundational tech that enables our modern economy to function, driven by that ongoing e-commerce explosion, the push for automation everywhere, and just the continuous modernization of industrial logistics.
Right. So what does this all actually mean for you listening? Well, it means behind every quick click, every fast delivery, there's this constantly evolving high-growth industry making it all happen. Those swift deliveries you get, maybe even take for granted sometimes, they're a direct result of these powerful, efficient sortation systems. And they're only getting faster, smarter, and more essential.
Yeah, which brings up, I think, an important question for all of us to consider. Given these strong growth trends and just the constant march of technology, how might these sortation systems evolve even further? How will they handle even more complex logistics challenges down the road? Or maybe integrate more seamlessly with, say, advanced AI or robotics in ways we can perhaps only begin to imagine today? Something to think about.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a closer look at something really fascinating and honestly completely indispensable in our modern world. Sortation conveyor systems. If you've ever, received an online order or checked a bag at the airport, maybe you watch goods moving through a massive warehouse, you've definitely seen these systems doing their thing.
Absolutely, they're everywhere.
So our mission today is to really unpack what's driving their adoption, the big hurdles they face, and the exciting future trends shaping automation in logistics and warehousing.
Yeah, they're much more than just belts and rollers, right?
Exactly. They're like the silent choreographers of global commerce.
Sure.
So if these systems are cropping up everywhere, what's really accelerated things in recent years? What's the biggest push we're seeing?
Well, the most prominent force, no question, is the sheer scale and maybe even more importantly, the complexity of the e-commerce and retail fulfillment boom. It's not just about more parcels. Online shopping has introduced this level of personalization at scale that traditional logistics just wasn't built for.
Right, like every single order is unique.
Exactly. Think about it. Every online order is basically a custom mini shipment going to a specific address. That shift, from moving bulk goods to handling countless individual items accurately and fast, that's a fundamental driver for these advanced sortation systems. It's all about efficient sorting, getting things dispatched quickly, minimizing errors.
Keeping customers happy with that fast delivery.
Precisely, helping retailers manage these huge volumes and meet those really demanding expectations one day, same-day delivery, just to stay competitive.
That makes total sense. The granularity, like you said, of e-commerce demands that precision.
Yeah.
But it's not just online retail driving this, is it? Where else are these crucial?
Oh, absolutely not. They're equally vital in places like airports and major international logistics hubs. Global air cargo keeps going up, passenger baggage volumes too, so airports are investing heavily. These systems are just essential for smoothly and efficiently handling luggage and air freight.
Reduces mistakes, speeds things up.
Exactly. Reduces human error, increases throughput, and they're critical for meeting those incredibly tight international logistics schedules. It really boosts operational efficiency and traveler satisfaction.
And thinking beyond just moving goods faster,
Hmm.
are there other pressures, maybe less obvious ones, pushing businesses towards automation, like on the human side?
Absolutely. That's a huge factor. The ongoing labor shortages and, persistent wage pressures are definitely pushing companies.
Right.
Organizations are strategically shifting to automated solutions like these sortation systems to really cut down their reliance on manual labor.
Which impacts the bottom line, I assume.
Definitely helps cut operational costs, but it also
Yeah.
provides consistent performance, high productivity for these big distribution centers, even when the labor market is volatile.
So it becomes a strategic investment?
Yeah, a long-term strategic investment for stability. Makes a lot of sense.
But like any complex tech, it can't all be smooth sailing. There've got to be bumps in the road, right? What are the main challenges, the restraints these systems face?
Well, yeah, there are definitely hurdles. A really significant one for many businesses is the high initial capital investment.
Okay, the upfront cost.
Exactly. The money needed for the equipment itself, plus integrating it with whatever infrastructure is already there and then training staff. It can be pretty daunting,
Especially for smaller players.
particularly for small to medium-sized enterprises, yeah. That upfront cost can be a major barrier, even if the long-term benefits seem clear.
And I can imagine trying to integrate this shiny new super advanced tech with, say, an older warehouse setup that might be decades old.
Mm.
That sounds like a real puzzle. How big a deal are those compatibility issues?
Oh, they're a massive concern. A key obstacle really is that complexity of integrating modern systems with legacy infrastructure. Many older warehouses are still running on outdated tech, and the whole process of customizing and adapting these new sortation systems to work smoothly alongside the old stuff, it can be technically very challenging,
And time consuming, I bet.
very time consuming, and costly too. That integration gap definitely slows down wider adoption in some cases.
Okay, so you get past the cost, you manage the integration,
Hmm.
but then you have to keep them running. That ongoing challenge, the risk of breakdown, that must be a nightmare for operations managers.
hmm This raises a really important question about maintenance and the risk of operational downtime. You're right.
Because these aren't simple machines.
No, they're advanced systems needing rigorous, regular upkeep. They're susceptible to mechanical wear and tear, just like anything.
Yeah.
But an unanticipated breakdown, that can severely disrupt operations.
Especially when timing's everything.
Exactly. In industries with those razor-thin delivery timelines where constant movement is essential. I mean, imagine the chaos if an airport baggage system or a major e-commerce center's sorting lines just ground to a halt during peak season. It's a huge risk.
Okay, so we've seen the drivers, the challenges. What does this all mean for the future then? Looking ahead, what trends are really shaping this market, pushing the innovation?
Right. Well, here's where it gets really interesting, I think. It's the emergence of AI and truly intelligent conveyor technologies.
Ah, the AI factor.
Yeah, we're talking deep integration of artificial intelligence, machine learning, real-time analytics. This lets the systems do way more than just sort. They can autonomously adjust to changing volumes.
On the fly.
On the fly, they can detect irregularities, optimize throughput dynamically. Imagine a system learning the best sorting path, not just for now, but predicting an incoming surge, maybe from a flash sale, and proactively rerouting packages to avoid bottlenecks before they even happen,
Wow.
or using sensor data to predict wear on a specific part before it fails, triggering preventative maintenance.
That's smart automation.
Exactly. That's the kind of smart automation transforming warehouse operations. Driving accuracy, minimizing waste, boosting overall efficiency. It's a real game changer.
That sounds incredibly powerful, almost prescient. What about the physical systems themselves? Are they also changing, becoming more adaptable?
Yes, absolutely. There's a very strong shift toward flexible and expandable system configurations. Modularity is key.
So you can scale them up or down.
Exactly. Companies increasingly want modular conveyor solutions they can easily scale or even reconfigure entirely as their business needs change. That adaptability is critical for long-term planning.
Makes sense in an unpredictable market.
Yeah, and it supports gradual automation, too, which helps organizations navigate those rapid changes in growth spurts.
And connecting this to the bigger picture, sustainability seems to be everywhere now. Is that making a real mark here too, or is it still mostly talk?
Oh, no, it's definitely making a tangible mark. If we connect this to the bigger picture, there's significant and growing momentum in sustainability within this industry.
How so?
We're seeing a clear trend towards eco-friendly conveyor systems. Think recyclable materials in construction, designs focused on high energy efficiency.
Saving energy saves money too, right?
It does, that's a benefit, but it's more than just cost cutting now. It's about aligning with corporate ESG goals, environmental, social, governance metrics, and really reducing the carbon footprint of the whole supply chain.
So warehouses are actively choosing greener tech.
They are. They're prioritizing it as they work towards net zero emissions, aiming for a more sustainable logistics ecosystem overall. It's actually becoming a competitive differentiator.
It's really clear then, the sortation conveyor systems market is right there at the intersection of, well, innovation, efficiency, and this huge transformation.
Absolutely. And, as global trade keeps growing, e-commerce keeps booming, automation accelerates. These systems are just going to play an increasingly central role in shaping how goods get sorted, moved, and delivered everywhere.
So maybe think about the next package you order online. Consider how much unseen, increasingly intelligent technology is working tirelessly behind the scenes to get it to your doorstep, and maybe ponder how much greener and smarter that whole process might become very soon. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.